Hi there, my friends. God bless you. My last video on YouTube that I uploaded was called The Babylonian Kingdom and History, and on that video I was playing some of my favourite music, and I'm creating two videos on YouTube again. The reason why I created a video with music and pictures is so that you can watch it anytime, really, to just receive revelation and just connect the pictures and understand how this Babylonian kingdom has been working through history. So I didn't want to really create that a teaching video. I just wanted to make that a video with music so that you can watch it at your leisure anytime, really, and look at the pictures and listen to the music and just see the connections. Thank you, my friends, for the comments on the last video. In this video I'm going to be teaching on the pictures that I was revealing in that video, but also going into a lot of revelation about Mystery Babylon and history in regard to the Roman Empire. Now, we know that it goes back to Nimrod and Semiramis and Greece, but I haven't really focused on Greece. I've really focused on the Roman Empire itself and how you have, papal nobility bloodlines, and obviously then the creation of the papacy, and then the Roman Empire revived. People talk about the Holy Roman Empire, they talk about the revived Roman Empire, so I'm going to be talking about that in this video, but also the creation of the Jesuit order and the creation of America in regard to the Roman Empire, because that's what America is. It's really a revived Roman Empire. All you have to do is go to Capitoline Hill and look at the architecture and look at the architecture really of America itself, and of course Rome had a senate, and of course America has a senate, and it's called the House of Representatives, but you also have the dome and you have the obelisk, as you do have in Vatican City, also in the Corporation City of London. So I'll be going into all of these subjects and many other subjects, but I wanted this to be a teaching video, but also my previous video, I wanted that just to be a music video, so you guys can just watch that anytime you like, and look at the pictures and listen to the music and be inspired. And if someone comes across this video on YouTube in regard to the last video, and I'll click on the title again. The video was called The Babylonian Kingdom and History. Most people will not comprehend what I'm revealing here. They'll just think it's different pictures just thrown together. Well, that's not how I created the video. Every picture is connected. I have different subjects in regard to, there's many pictures in that video that are directly connected to a subject, and then other pictures I'm just bringing revelation, and then other pictures are directly connected. So I've created in such a way to bring revelation. Okay, I'll go into the subject. The subject of this video is the Babylonian mystery Babylon, working through history, and so I'm going to be teaching on that. When I uploaded my last video on YouTube a while ago, it was dealing with the Roman Empire creating the papacy to counter the Reformation. But I'm not going to be talking about that in this video. I'm just going to be talking about how Mystery Babylon has been working through history, but dealing primarily with the Roman Empire and the papal bloodlines, the creation of the Jesuit order, and then going into how these signs and symbols reveal that it's the same empire working through history. It really is. From the time of the Roman Empire until today, it's the same empire. It's a Babylonian empire, of course. God bless you, my friends. I want to thank you again for your support and encouragement and the comments on the videos. I do read the comments, but sometimes I haven't got the time to actually, sort of go into every comment, but I'm reading the comments, and a lot of what I'm teaching in this video will actually respond to those comments. So thank you, my friends. I do appreciate you. God bless you. You know that I don't always upload videos all the time on YouTube. I don't do that. Sometimes I'll be away for 6 months or a year. Recently when I've come back, I'll upload a video every 2 weeks, but this is actually a series that I've created, and the first video is called The Babylonian Kingdom and History, and enjoy that video, my friends, enjoy it. But in this video, as I've said, I'm going to be teaching on how this Roman Empire has been working since the time of the Roman Empire, through obviously the papal bloodlines, the Jesuit order, and into a lot of symbols and signs. And enjoy the video, my friends, enjoy the video. You know, it's taken me a long time to put these two videos together, obviously. But enjoy the videos, my friends, enjoy the videos. God bless you, God bless you. Okay, I'll begin the video. Let me begin by saying that it is goddess worship, really, that is continuing through history. And it does begin with Semiramis, it goes into Greece, in many titles and many deities, and then it goes into Rome, and you have many titles for this goddess. Now of course we have Zeus and Jupiter and, you know, Saturn and Saturnalia. We have all of these different deities and gods, but really it's goddess worship. And really that's the most important thing, because you see a lot of these goddesses upon, you know, different coins and different paintings and different sculptures throughout history, really. And I was sharing in one video about the owl and Isis, and I won't cover that again, but that's another example. You see Isis that gives birth to Horus, and that is a revelation of the man of sin, the Antichrist, the son of perdition, being brought forth, really. So it's the same revelation through history that's continuing here. And of course I'll go into a lot of the pictures that I've actually revealed and put on the last video, I'm going to be talking about in this video. So, you know, after you watch this video, go back and watch that video titled The Babylonian Kingdom and History. Now I've thought to myself, I could have created a video whereby, you know, I would you know, show the picture and teach on the picture, but I really felt in my heart just to put some music on that so people could just watch that when they wanted to, really. Okay, I'm going to get into the depth of this message. God bless you. Now there's a very old picture of the Statue of Liberty, and of course she has the spikes around atop her head, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spikes there, of course, and that symbolises, I do believe, the mountains of Rome, but it also symbolises sun rays. But she's holding the fascist symbols, and she's holding that fascist symbol, and I mean, that really is the revelation of the Statue of Liberty. You know, it's not liberty, it's really Semiramis, really, but she's holding that symbol of the Roman Empire, which is the fascists, and you can actually see that on the video itself. I do actually, you know, reveal that picture. And so you have the Statue of Liberty holding the fascist symbol of the fascists, and she has 7 spikes, which are really 7 sun rays, really, atop her head, which is really a symbol of Rome. It's a symbol of the power of Rome and the authority of Rome, and also the domination of Rome. And that's a very, very interesting picture. But also we have the eagle on the American dollar, a pluribus unum, and of course you know, you have the stars atop of that, and holding arrows, of course. Now you see in many, ancient sculptures and pictures of the eagle, holding the arrows. So it's directly connected to the Roman Empire, but it goes back further than that. So that's why I've uploaded those pictures of the American dollar with the eagle, and I have different pictures also in my previous video about the eagle itself. And of course you can see that on the American seal of the dollar, and it's really a symbol of Rome. It's a symbol of the Roman Empire. It's a symbol of war. It's about the power of Rome to control and dominate. But you see the eagle, it goes back to the Roman Empire. Also, if you look at the symbol for the United States Senate, you have the symbol of the fascist symbols with the axes atop, at the bottom of that, and the stars, of course, at the top of that, and the word liberty, which is also connected to the Statue of Liberty, which is really Semiramis. And then we now go into the Great Seal of America, and you would Soaptis, and obviously Novus Ordo Seclorum, which is the New World Order, and you have the pyramid itself and the all-seeing eye. It's really the eye of Lucifer. I mean, you could really say in a way that my eyes have been illuminated. Now, it's happened through research, but I also believe that God has given me this gift, because I've sat down sometimes and thought to myself, how can I comprehend these things? How can I connect all of these dots? How can I bring it all together the way I do? How can I comprehend and understand and just reveal things and understand things and bring it forth the way I do? I believe my eyes have been illuminated, but I'm not part of the order, I'm not part of the brotherhood, I'm just someone that's done a lot of research, but I believe that God has given me the gift to see. He's given me this gift to see. So therefore I know my heart is a gift from God. It's a gift from God. But I believe that God has called me to do what I'm doing. But obviously, at the top of the pyramid you have the Eye of Horus. But it's also, it's Luciferian revelation. But my revelation, it does not come from Lucifer. My friends, it does not come from Lucifer. It comes from research, it comes from the Holy Spirit, it comes from the Spirit of God. So the things that I'm revealing to you are by revelation, and that really is what the all-seeing eye is about. It's about revelation being revealed, revelation of Babylon, mystery Babylon, and great Babylon, Babylon the Great. It's been working through history, and all of these empires in history, they all had Babylonian governments. They all had governments that were really full of, Babylonian signs and symbols, and they worshipped gods and goddesses, really, that were all connected right back to Nimrod and Semiramis, which is really the worship of fallen angels. And that revelation, to understand the things that I'm revealing in this video, it's my eyes have been opened, and I have received revelation. But that's what happens, you see, when people get to the top. When people get to the top, they receive revelation. Now, of course, I'm not part of the New World Order. I'm not part of that pyramid system. I'm not at the pinnacle, my friends. I am not at the pinnacle. Okay? I haven't climbed my way to the top, and I'm not at the pinnacle. I'm just someone who's done a lot of research, and I'm going to reveal that research to you. But the Eye of Horus represents revelation of the Babylonian religion of Lucifer, really. It's that Babylonian revelation and the Babylonian mystery religion of Lucifer. So, I mean, when you see the Statue of Liberty holding up the torch, the flaming torch is a symbol of two things, really. Nimrod, but it's also a symbol of revelation. It's your eyes being opened. But only those at the top receive revelation. So, in my last video that I uploaded a while ago on YouTube, I was talking about the Roman Empire, how they created the papacy, because the papacy was really a threat to the Roman Empire. And you know, people also talk about the Holy Roman Empire being revived in the last days. I believe that, I really do. You can explain it two ways. There will be a restoration of the Holy Roman Empire, but also a revival of the whole Roman Empire. And the Antichrist will be atop of that. You know, he will receive his power from the dragon, from Satan, from Lucifer, and he will control this Holy Roman Empire. Well, it's really an unholy Roman Empire. It's not holy. It's not from God. It's unholy. But look, in this video, I'm going to be giving you, you know, scattered information. I'm going to be giving you so much information on so many subjects that I've been researching for a while now. So I'll be talking about one subject and jumping into another, so bear with me. Okay, God bless you, my friends, God bless you. Just bear with me, because I won't be talking about one subject. I'll be going into all different various kinds of subjects about Mystery Babylon itself. But just to clarify, the triangle represents control. It represents the people at the top. You know, they can see and they know the truth, but those at the bottom of the pyramid, they are, well, in darkness. They're deceived. They have no revelation. And that's how they're able to control the masses, control the slaves in this pyramid structure. Only those at the pinnacle can see, right? Only those at the pinnacle can see, and only those at the pinnacle can have revelation. Well, I mean, I don't know everything. All I can do is share with you the revelation that I've done myself, really, through many years of doing that. So anyway, I'll continue to different subjects, but just to let you know, I'm going to be jumping into all kinds of subjects here, so enjoy the video. But the all-seeing eye is the eye of Horus, but it's also, it's Lucifer bringing forth light, because Lucifer, he is the light bearer. That's what he is. He's the light bearer. The Bible says that Satan himself appears and comes forth as an angel of light. So that's the real meaning of Lucifer, is the light bearer, the one that brings illumination, the one that brings revelation, the one that brings light. And that's what happens, as I've said, when you get to the top of the pyramid, you receive light. Same with Freemasonry. I was saying that weeks and weeks and weeks ago in one of my videos, how only high level Luciferian Freemasons receive light, and those at the bottom are just deceived, really, and just kept absolutely in the dark, really. That's how it works. But it's the same with every organisation. It's the same with every religion. It's the same with every cult. Those at the top, they receive revelation. They can see. Everyone else, they are in the dark. So that's really what the Eye of Horus represents also. And also keeping those at the low levels just slaves, really. And they're able to control because they're blinded, really. It's going to be quite a deep video in regard to jumping into different subjects, but just to let you know, that's the way the video is going to be. I'm just going to be going here, there and everywhere, scattering information here, there and everywhere, but that's the way I like to really teach, really. It will be a fascinating video. It really will. It'll be fascinating, because it fascinates me. I don't understand why I have this fascination, but the more that I dig, the more that I research, it fascinates me more and more and more. It's like a fire has been lit in my spirit, and it's just burning and burning and burning, and it's consumed me. That's the only way I can explain it. This fire has consumed me, and I find it fascinating. A lot of people wouldn't, but I do. But let's move on to the next subject, okay? God bless you, my friends. At this point in the video, I'm going to be talking about Rome. I'm going to be talking about the mountains of Rome. Now, of course, you have the Vatican, and you have the Tiber River, Tiberias to be exact, and of course then you have the Field of Mars, and you have the Tiber River, Aventine Hill. To be exact, it's called Collis Avantis, Servian Wall. You have the Khalil Hill, Collis Calais, and you have the Esquiline Hill, you have Capitoline Hill, Viminine Hill, and Quirinal Hill. Now, Capitoline Hill, of course, you can connect that to Washington DC and Capitoline Hill, but Capitoline Hill in Washington DC was built according to the mountain of Capitoline Hill in Rome. And of course you can connect that to the Vatican, and you can connect it to the obelisk and the dome of St. Peter's Basilica. And they are identical. There's no difference between them really. It's the same Babylonian religion. It's the same organization. So in my last video that I uploaded, the one with the music on, you'll see some pictures of Capitoline Hill and the goddess atop of that. But also you have the obelisk in front of that. Now if you go to St. Peter's, the Basilica in Rome, the Vatican City, and you see the Basilica, the womb, you'll see the obelisk in front of that. And that of course is connected to Capitoline Hill. Then also in the video I showed a picture of a very powerful Borgia. He was the third superior general and he was a Borgia, Francisco Borgia, and in that very old picture, just to describe the picture so you can find it on the video if you want to, it's a very old picture of Francisco Borgia with a halo sun ray above his head. It's clearly a sun ray atop his head, blasting above his head, and you know, directly to that you have the cup of the Mass, of course. But in the book of Revelation, chapter 17, it describes that as holding a cup, a golden cup, full of abominations and full of the filthiness of fornication. But that also has a sun blast, to be exact, a sun ray around it, which also people could depict, well, as spikes. But you know, when you look at the Statue of Liberty, it's not really spikes, it's sun rays. That's really what it is. I've called them spikes in previous videos because that's the only people, it's the only way they can interpret that really. When people look at, you know, Hecates, when people look at ancient depictions of sculptures regarding that goddess Hecates, they look upon it as spikes. It's not spikes, it's sun rays. But when you look at Francisco Borgia in this old picture, and just to let you know what the picture is, he's sitting there and he has this halo of sun rays, and to the right he has of course the Mass. You know, he has this golden cup to the right of his head, to the right of the picture, of course, right hand of the picture. And above his head you have the halo, of course, but the sun rays. And you know, around the Eucharist, the golden cup, you have the sun rays also bringing the illumination. And at the bottom he has his left hand touching his breast, of course. And then we have a skull at the bottom, and then we have a crown. Well, that's a very, very powerful symbol. And we have the, you know, the crown and the skull really. But also you see the symbol of the crown in the Jehovah's Witnesses. You see many of the ancient literature, well, I wouldn't say ancient, but very old literature of the Jehovah's Witnesses. You have the cross and the crown, so it's all like indicating that they are controlled by the Jesuit order, really. So someone actually asked me a question on one of my videos in regard to that. I uploaded a video where I was saying that Russell, you know, who was the founder of the Jehovah's Witnesses, he was controlled by the Sons of Loyola. He was controlled by the Superior General in the Jesuit order. And this brother came on and posted a comment saying, do you have any sources that indicate that? Well, I don't actually. I haven't really come across any sources or any website that directly proves that the Jesuits created the Jehovah's Witnesses, but I do know that the Jesuit fathers wrote the high degrees of Masonry because that was revealed by Blavatsky, of course. So, okay, let me slow down because I'm sharing too much information, probably too fast for you. So I'll slow down. But in that video, I was revealing how the Jesuits controlled, really, the foundation of the Jehovah's Witnesses. And I haven't actually come across information, really. And that brother was asking me a question, do you have any sources that point to Russell being Jesuit trained? And really, I didn't respond, but I'll respond now. It's like, no, I don't actually have any concrete evidence for that, but if you look at this picture here, you have Francisco Borgia, and below the picture, on the right, you have the skull with the crown, and you know, a crown is a symbol of the Jesuit order. It's one of the symbols. It's also a symbol for the Borgias, really. And so, you know, in the Jehovah's Witnesses early literature, you had the cross going through the crown. And so, but not only that, if you look at Russell himself, there is also symbols of pyramids, which we know as, you know, people call it the Illuminati. Well, it's not just the Illuminati. It goes back to Egypt. It goes back to Isis and Horus, of course. But yeah, it's a very interesting picture. I've done some research on the Borgias and the foundation of where they came from and the place that they came from and the castle and the ruins and everything, and they seem to have a lot of Celtic origins, which I found very, very fascinating, really. But obviously a lot of that is connected to early Rome and a lot of things that happened, as in, you know, ancient Rome, the foundation of Rome and so on, but also later on, you know. But of course I found that very interesting because obviously I'm Celtic, you know, I'm a Scot. But anyway, that's a totally different subject. But yeah, if you look at this picture, you have the sunburst around the head of Francisco Borgia, and you have that sunburst around the cup itself, the golden cup, which in Revelation 17 says that it's filled with the filthiness of a fornication. And yeah, you have this skull, the skull there, and the crown, of course. And if you look into, you know, the Jehovah's Witnesses, now people could say, well, that's a coincidence, you know, that's a coincidence, you're stretching too much here. Well, I don't think so, really. I mean, you know, the Freemasons at the highest levels, they're Luciferian. Albert Pike said himself, we must maintain the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. But I don't want to go into things that I shared in that video, I'll just move on. But this is a very, very fascinating, revealing picture. It reveals a lot to us. I'll go into the Borgias later on, I really will, but as I've said, it's going to be a long video and a deep video. But what I'm doing in this video is explaining everything that I've revealed in the last music video. Okay, God bless you. Now, I'm not saying that the Borgias have Celtic origins. I'm just saying that the actual place where they came from, as in Borgia itself, if you actually do a lot of deep research, there was a lot of Celtic sort of connections in the early foundation of the place where they came from. But I'm not bringing forth that they have actually Celtic origins in their bloodline. I'm not suggesting that, but I'm saying the place where they came from, as in Borgia itself, does have connections to Celts that were around all foundations of the actual place where they came from. Now, I don't want to lose people here at this point in the video by going too deep into things, but let's go into the Eye of Horus. The Eye of Horus in Egypt, you have the eye itself, and then it goes down and around the eye, of course. Then of course we go into the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire had symbols of what's called the Attilica owl. The Attilica owl was depicted in the Roman Empire many times by mosaics that were actually, inlaid on the floor. But I show a picture of that in the video. So in the Roman Empire, they revered the symbol of the owl. Also in Greece and going back to Egypt. So the owl is a symbol of Isis. But also in the Roman Empire, they regarded the owl as a symbol for secret wisdom, secret knowledge, and that is really why the Romans really revered the owl. That's also why the Egyptians revered the owl, because it was a symbol of secret knowledge that came by illumination. Now I think at this point in the video I'm going to talk about the Templars, but I'm going to spend more time on each subject because sometimes I'm maybe going too fast. Okay. The Templars, I don't believe they were destroyed. I don't. I've talked to some brothers online and they've left comments on the videos many years ago, and they were revealing to me that the Templars went to Switzerland, and you do see a lot of Templar crosses in regard to Switzerland itself. And I do believe that. But also people talk about Aragon Templars. There's many beliefs on where they went and the power that they have and where they operated from. But I personally believe that they actually do have a stronghold in Switzerland. But the Templars were not destroyed. Of course, you see Templar symbolism in the Corporation City of London, but also people could connect that to the Knights of St. John. But remember, the Templars, they controlled the Corporation City. That's why today it's called the Temple Bar, because the Templars, their headquarters was really, in Britain of course, it was the Corporation City, as in the Temple Bar, the Temple Inns of Court, but that territory itself was controlled by the Templars. That's where they had their temple in London, and of course they were bankers really. They were the first real bankers really, and the monarchies of Europe, they gave their wealth unto the Templars and they held their wealth, and really that's what the Templars were known for. But of course originally they were really protecting the Temple Mount, what you could call a Holy Sepulchre, or the Temple Mount itself, Mount Moriah. That was their function, that was their purpose, but also to protect the pilgrims. But I remember saying many years ago in a video, when I first started out like 10 years ago, people talk about the New World Order. Well, the New World Order is really the Old World Order, and the Old World Order is the New World Order. It's the same order, it's the same system. It hasn't changed. You have the Templars, you have the Knights of St. John of Jerusalem, known today as the Knights of Malta because they're based in Malta, and before that they were the island of Rhodes. But it's the same order, it's just we have just went hundreds and hundreds of years into the future. But the Templars, the Knights of Malta and the Equestrian Order, they are in control of things at the highest levels in regard to finance, in regard to military. The CIA itself was created by William Weld Donovan, of course, who was a high papal knight of Rome. And so the CIA was controlled and founded by a Knight of Malta, a papal knight of Rome, under the control of Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, the great whore. But the Old World Order is the New World Order. But my point is this: I don't believe the Templars were destroyed. I don't believe they were abolished. Now, of course, they were persecuted, but I believe they went into Scotland. I believe they went into different areas across the earth, different areas, of course. But I do believe they went to Switzerland because this brother left a very informative comment on one of my videos about 3 years ago, probably, and he was saying to me that the Templars went to Switzerland, and I believe that, really. I believe that. And a lot of people say the Templars created the Society of Jesus, they created the Jesuit order. And some people say, well, the Borgias did, or the Farnese did. I mean, if you look above the Church of the Jesuit in Rome, and I've also got a picture of that on the video, I've got a picture of the Church of the Jesuit. And if you can somehow zoom in, you can see that you have the name Farnese atop the left of the Church of the Jesuit. On the outside, it's there. You have Farnese written above, atop the Church of the Jesuit on the left, atop of the Church of the Jesuit. So you have the Farnese bloodline revealed right there. And of course, the third superior general of the Jesuits, the third father of the society. The first father obviously was not a Borgia, but the third superior general was a Borgia. So you have Farnese above the door, right? Very, very powerful bloodline. And also, I show in the video the flag of the Farnese. Let me just click on this picture now just to look at this here. On the flag of the Farnese, you have the Fleur, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. You have 6 of those symbols. That is the symbol of the Farnese. Of course, the symbol of the Borgia is the Red Bull, of course. So we have the Farnese written above the Church of the Jesuit, and really that was the arms of the House of Farnese. The arms of the House of Farnese were blue. You had 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and people call it the Fleur, but you also see that symbol in the Church of the Jesuit. You see that symbol. I've seen that symbol on many pictures displayed in the Church of the Jesuit. But going into the Borgia, you have a Red Bull itself upon green grass, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 around the shield itself. But as I was saying, the third superior general, the third father of the order, was a Borgia. So you have the Farnese bloodline, you have the Borgia bloodline controlling that. And I've done research on Ignatius Abliola. He was a knight, but obviously he's connected to Spain, and obviously that does connect to the Borgias, it connects to the Farnese. So it seems that Spain was really working at the foundation of the creation of the Jesuit order through these two bloodlines. Now that's clear because it can be proven, right? The third general of the order was a Borgia. The Farneses atop the door of the Church of the Jesuit, but I haven't found any concrete evidence to indicate that the Templars created the Jesuit order. Maybe they did. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, all I can bring you is the research that I've done and the facts that I've found. I can't go into theories, okay? But I do believe the Templars did go to Switzerland. I believe they did continue to control the Corporation City of London. And also in the video, what I do show is I show the shield of the Corporation City of London, and you have two dragons, of course, to the left and right, and you have the cross. You have the cross there, the Templar cross, of course. And so it would seem that the Templars do control the Corporation City. Now, also people have said that the Templars are revived Knights Templars. Revived Knights Templars. Could it be that they were controlled by the Jesuit order? There's a lot of theories on that, but I'll move into different subjects. But I just wanted to cover the House of Borgia. Now the House of Borgia really was controlling the papacy. Same with the Farnese. Really, they were controlling the popes, they were controlling the cardinals, controlling bishops. There have been two popes, in fact, that were Borgias, and some were cardinals, and you've also had the Farnese that were controlling the popes and, really controlling what was going on, really at the heart of the papacy. So the Borgias and the Farneses are bloodlines that were really controlling cardinals, and it's the same with the Borgias and Farneses, really. But they were also there at the very foundation of the Jesuit order. So the Farneses and the Borgias were really controlling the papacy and the Jesuit order at the very beginning. And that's really important to go into that, really. I touched on it in my last video weeks ago, but I didn't really go into it in any depth, really. Now, of course, I can't move into another subject before I talk about the Cup of Borgia. We all know what the Cup of Borgia is, because they were well known for, poisoning people with their cup, and pouring the cup. And there's a picture here with, in the video, of a pope. It's a very old picture, so just to let you know, that's the one to look out for. You have a very old picture of a pope, and he's sitting there in the middle, dressed in red, of course. And you have the two keys above him with the triple tiara, and you have a woman to the left, and a cup being poured. So it's like drinking the cup of Borgia. So we all know what that means in history, but some people think that was just later persecution against them. People that were anti-Borgia, people that were against the Borgias were trying to, bring up all of these malicious rumours that they were poisoning and they were living in sin and iniquity and living a really wicked life. Well, I don't know, really. I don't know. But they were definitely known for the poison cup. Let me put it this way, they were not known for their compassion. They were not known for their compassion. I mean, if they wanted to remove someone to have power, then they would do it. And I think history backs that up, really. But they were definitely not known for their compassion, that's for sure. Okay, next I'm going to talk about the symbol of the eagle. The eagle was the symbol for Imperial Rome. Imperial Rome. But also, you see in many, many pictures in history the symbol of the eagle holding the arrows, the symbols of war. And you see that exact symbol on the American dollar. You have the eagle holding the symbol of war and the arrow, and corpses below that, really. So it's an ancient Roman symbol, really. And of course it's on the American dollar, so it's about the Roman Empire really bringing control and destruction and war and domination. So that really is what the eagle represents on the American dollar. But you can also find it in ancient history, where you have, I actually show one picture of this eagle holding the arrow itself, and you have bodies below it that are dead and they've been destroyed. It's actually called a apotheosis decludo, and you can find that picture on the video, where you have an eagle itself, holding an arrow. It's upon an altar, and atop the altar you have bodies, and atop of that you have the eagle holding the arrow. And really that's what is really the symbol on the American dollar. It's about this symbol of the Roman Empire, the eagle, really holding those arrows. They will bring war against anyone that resists them, and they will dominate them. Also, there's a symbol here of Lucifer. In the Church of the Jesuit, you have the symbol of Francis of Xavier. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to make this the main picture of my video. I wasn't quite sure, you know, what picture to display for this video, but on this video, on this entire video, I'm going to show this one picture. And what you have here is you have a kind of a shrine to Francis of Xavier, and atop of that you have an angel. Well, that's Lucifer. That's Lucifer atop of this, right? You see this golden statue of Lucifer? You probably wondered why I put this on this video. But this is the only picture I'm putting on here. That's in the Church of the Jesuit in Rome. You have the shrine to Francis Xavier, and you have Lucifer atop of that, with his wings there, right? That's Lucifer himself atop of Francis of Xavier. And maybe that's what Pope Francis was named after. You know, people have told me that it was Francis Pope who was the first bishop of America, but I don't know. I mean, could it be Francis Xavier? Could it be connected to Lucifer atop of it here? Don't know. Different ways of saying this. Now you guys might think, why didn't you just talk through every picture? It would be a lot easier, Alan, if you just, you know, show the picture and talk through it. Well, as I've said, I wanted to just put music on there. I don't know why, but I really felt in my heart to just, you know, show the pictures with the music so you guys can watch it anytime you like. You know, you don't have to hear my voice. You don't have to take too much in. You can just lie down there and, you know, look at the pictures and watch the music and chill out and just take it all in, you know, rather than, you know, just hearing me teach. So I wanted two videos. I wanted a music video with pictures and a teaching video. Now, there is a picture in this video, and it's of a Borgia who was a pope. A Borgia who was a pope, and you can't mistake this picture. You can't. Actually, just let me give you more detail. It's actually Alfonso de Borgia. Just to give you more information, my friends. It's Alfonso de Borgia. A-L-F-O-N-C-O-D-E-B-O-R-G-A. Alfonso de Borgia, who was the Pope of Rome. So we have a Superior General of the Jesuits, a General of the Order, a General of the Jesuits, who is the third Superior General of the Order, but also we have a Pope of Rome who is also a Borgia. So the third Superior General is a Borgia, but you also have a Pope of Rome who is a Borgia. And in this picture, well, sorry, the last video, No, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put this picture on the video so you can see it for yourself, okay? Rather than go back to the video and looking that one up. Well, it's a very important picture. It's really important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this picture on the video so you can see it. I won't do that with all the other pictures, but with this picture, I'll put it on so you can see what I'm exactly saying here. Okay, look at the picture right now. His name is Alfonso de Borgia. Alfonso de Borgia. And you see there the triple tyra. Can you see that? Triple tyra. He has authority over heaven, earth and hell, right? Power to excommunicate. And he's holding the two hands up there to the left. You see that? It's a papal symbol. But it's also a Babylonian Luciferian symbol. And then to the centre, across his breast at the centre, You see the IHS, the Society of Jesus, the Jesuit order. That's the Pope of Rome, my friends. With the sunburst around the IHS, the Babylonian Luciferian sunburst there around the IHS across his breast, with the papal symbol there, the Babylonian symbol to the left. Now he was a Borgia, right? So I'll put that picture on the video so you can clearly look at that, and I'll leave it on there for quite a while. So you can see that. So you have this, previously this picture of the altar of Francis of Xavier, who you have that shrine to him, and then you have Lucifer covering that, the wings displayed on the left and to the right. So we have a symbol of Lucifer above Francis of Xavier. We have Alfonso de Borgia as a Pope of Rome, and of course we have another picture here, of Francisco Borgia, of course, the third general of the Jesuits, with the sunburst around him, of course. Atop of that, the Eucharist and skull and the crown. So I won't put many pictures in this video, but just ones that relate to what I'm really saying here. But really, it's the same Babylonian religion. It's the same Babylonian Luciferian doctrine working its way through the Roman Empire, working its way through the papal nobility bloodlines, and of course the creation of the Jesuit order. You have the same papal bloodlines that are in control of this whole system, this whole Babylonian system. So when they created the Catholic Church, the Roman Empire really was in control, bringing their Luciferian doctrines, bringing their Babylonian mystery religion into Jesuitism. And of course Mary has been Jesuitized. It's really the worship of Isis and Horus. That's what it is. So to clarify what I've been teaching throughout these two videos is this. It's Babylonian sun god worship. That's why you have all of these sun rays around the IHS of the Jesuit seal, of course, but also atop of the head of Francisco Borgia, but also this whole thing about the generals of the order and the popes of Rome, both holding a skull. That's very clear. It's very clear. Personally, I get more revelation from old paintings than anywhere else. What I do is I look at these old paintings and I really examine them, and you see a lot of symbolism there that really directly connects back to sun god worship and back to the worship of Isis and Horus. Really, if you just look at those old paintings, you see. But obviously, then you have to have revelation. Really, you have to. Most people would look and wouldn't look twice. Really, they wouldn't think twice. But I mean, it's also a symbol of the Black Sun. If you look at Nazism, you have the symbol of the broken cross. Really, it's a broken cross circle. That's what the fascist symbol is of fascism. It's the symbol of Nazism itself, the swastika to be exact. The swastika is really a broken cross circle. But that circle goes right back to sun god worship, goes right back to the sunburst. That's what it is. The same symbolism, the same revelation working its way through history. But also, if you look into ancient Egypt, you have the symbol of the falcon and the eagle, later on in the Roman Empire, but you have the falcon and the eagle, and also the owl. They represent wings. They represent sunburst also. Let's look at, for instance, the symbol for the 1989 Congress dollar. The 1989 Congress dollar. You have the symbol of the United States of America. It's actually the $1. And of course you have the fascist symbol there, symbol of the fascists there, with a round symbol atop of it regarding sun god worship. And you have the symbol of the Roman Empire, the eagle itself there atop of it. If you want to look that up, just look up the $1, and the $1 itself from Congress is actually from 1989. Just write down what I'm saying. The 1989 Congress dollar, right? Reverse, and you'll see clearly there. It's a very old coin, of course, but you have the eagle atop of it, and it's $1, but it's the United States of America $1, and you have the fascist symbol there, of course, with the sun god circle and the eagle atop of it, and that's from 1989. Now I want to talk now about the papacy itself, the Vatican itself. You have the dome atop the Vatican, you have the dome itself. Now that symbolises the womb, and the obelisk itself, I'm not going to be disgusting, I'm not going to go into graphic detail, but we know what the obelisk represents, right? And that penetrates the womb and it brings forth the man of sin. It brings forth Horus, it brings forth Antichrist, the son of perdition. Then also, in my previous video I showed pictures of a very powerful Cardinal of Rome standing with Hitler. Hitler's to the right. This man was a very, very, very powerful High Jesuit, and he was controlling the Third Reich. He was one of the controllers of Hitler. And okay, you know what, I'm just going to put this picture on. It takes more time, but I'll do it. It takes more time, but I'll put this picture on so you can see it for yourself while I'm talking about this, okay? As I said, I won't do it with every subject, but when I'm dealing with an important subject, I think I need to, put the pictures on to display this. Okay, so in this picture, as you can see, you have a very, very powerful man of Rome, and look at Hitler to the right, look at him, he's definitely subject to Rome. You can see that clearly, can't you? And that swastika that Hitler has to the left, that band he has, that's a sun symbol. That's what it is. He's under the control of Rome. He's under the control of Mystery Babylon. Now you could say, well, he's just meeting a dignitary. He's just, he's been diplomatic. No, he's not. Look at his face. Look at the way look at his posture. Look at the way he's gripping his hands. Look at the way he is. He's subservient. This cardinal here on the left, he is supreme. He is supreme. He's the man in control. Can't you see that? I can see that. It's as plain as day. It's as plain as day. Hitler was a servant of Rome. I mean, Goran was a knight of Malta. I mean, Bormann. I mean, I read a book called The Grey Wolf. I don't know if you guys have read that. It's a very great book. A very great book. It's called The Grey Wolf. I mean, you can look it up on Amazon. You can buy it in different places. It's called The Grey Wolf, as in G-R-E-Y wolf. Grey Wolf. It's still out there. You can still buy it. When I used to post stuff on my blog, I used to put articles on there about that. But anyway, getting back to it, you can buy this book if you want to. It's called The Grey Wolf. The Grey Wolf. And in this book, it describes how Bormann left Germany dressed as a Jesuit priest. And the guy that wrote The Grey Wolf, he done incredible research. And also in that book, he described how Hitler went to a place that was really prepared for him by Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, who also was a very powerful High Knight of Malta. So, Hitler was, it goes into that whole Nazi rat lines thing, and, I won't go into that. It would take far too much time. But in this book called The Grey Wolf, this man described how Bormann left Germany dressed as a Jesuit priest. Now, you could look at it two ways. Was he dressed as a Jesuit, or was he a Jesuit? Well, I'm not quite sure. You know, I don't want to jump to conclusions here, but he was dressed as a Jesuit priest. And of course he was obviously on his way to, you know, be taken somewhere. But I'm not going to go into this whole thing about the bunker and how he left and how he went in a submarine and, you know, did he go in a submarine, did he go somewhere else, and how did those lines go and all of that. It's a totally different video, and I'm not even going to create that video. I don't even want to go there. But in fact, I don't even know how we got into this. But if you look at this cardinal here, right, obviously you can see Hitler the way he's standing here. Look at the way he's standing, look at his face, right, look at the way, look at his posture, look at his body language. He's under the power of Rome. He's under the power of Rome. Absolutely. Absolutely. Subservient. This Cardinal Supreme. I mean, you know, all you have to do is just read body language. But it's well known through the Odessa and all of that. It's like, you know, the Vatican worked through the, you know, Nazi rat lines, and they got the high officials, the high Nazis out of there. But anyway, different subject, my friends, different subject. Let's move on. But look at the photograph. Look at the way Hitler is standing. Look at his body language. Look at his posture. Look at his face. Look at his hands gripped. You know, he's clearly under the power of this cardinal to the left. Moving on. Moving on, I haven't really got time to go into the Knights of St. John, but the Knights of St. John do control politics, they do control the military, they do control intelligence across the earth. I mean, British MI5, MI6 at the highest levels, they're controlled by papal knights. I'm talking about people that are staffed at the highest levels. They're papal knights of Rome. The Knights of Malta, the high level Freemasons, and those at the very, very pinnacle of it, you know, they've received illumination, because that's the whole point. The pyramid reaches a pinnacle, and at that pinnacle you receive revelation of how it all works in the Luciferian doctrine and Babylonianism and everything. I mean, Mary in the Catholic Church, all you have to do is look at Michelangelo and his sculpture in St. Peter's, which is absolutely excellent sculpture, and it's revealed that Christ is lying on the lap of Mary. And of course it's depicting that she's the Queen of Heaven. And also my previous video, I revealed many pictures how Mary is really the Queen of Heaven, and she is controlling Christ. She is really Isis, bringing forth Horus. So that really is what's happening here. But this architecture, I'm sure you, my friends, know this. It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful sculpture, and it is. It's Michelangelo's sculpture in St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican City. And you have Mary holding Christ. Now, I don't agree with this, of course, but it's an absolutely beautiful sculpture, nevertheless. But it's depicting and revealing that she is Isis holding Horus, you know, bringing him forth, really. Okay, I think I'll end the video. It's been a long video. It's an hour now. It's an hour long. No, I think I'll go into a few more things. I was going to finish, but I think I need to really, you know, explain a lot of things, because in that video there's a lot of pictures revealed. A lot of pictures. And I wanted to bring a teaching video, but I also wanted to bring a separate music with the pictures, with the music, so you can just chill out and watch it yourself and just, you know, receive revelation from it. But if you look at the Statue of Liberty, she has sun rays atop of her, sun rays, and she's holding a flaming torch. Okay, it's the torch of Nimrod, Semiramis, but also known as the goddess Hecate's, you know, and it's really, it all ties back and is connected directly to ISIS. And of course, I'm not really going to talk about ISIS because I brought a video on that a while ago called The Owl ISIS Mystery Babylon. So if you want to know about that, you can watch that in regard to the owl itself. But the Statue of Liberty is really ISIS, but it's also, it goes back into Semiramis and Babylon itself. And I was talking in that video about how you have the unfinished tower in Strasbourg. So it's a Babylonian world government today. It's a very deep conspiracy. There are multi-levels to it, multi-layers to it. But I got to a point now where I can really see what's happening. I can see. My eyes have been opened. They've been illuminated. It took years of research. You know, years ago I would think, oh, the Black Pope controls the New Order. I believe he does. And that's the truth. I believe that Pope Francis is the general of the Jesuits. He is the superior father. He is the father of the order. He's the father of the order. That's right. But previously, you know, Adolfo Nicholas from Spain, or Peter Hans Kolmbach, who was a Dutchman, many believed that they were the fathers. Well, they were the generals. But with Pope Francis, he has become a black and a white pope. That has never ever happened before. So I realised many years ago that when that happened, I didn't realise for a while. I just thought, I remember creating one video called The Evil Jesuit Oath. And in that video I was saying that, you know, Pope Francis really, big Aglio from, well, Argentina, he was a high provincial in Buenos Aires, Argentina, that you know, he was under the control of Adolfo Nicholas from Spain, who was the general of the Jesuits. But when he resigned, when the father Adolfo Nicholas resigned, then I realised the truth. He'd handed over the reins, he'd handed over the throne, he'd handed over control of the Jesuit order to Pope Francis himself, who was then to become a white pope. But in history, the general of the Jesuits, they had control of the order, absolute control of the order. And I'm sure, my friends, you've heard me saying this before, so I won't go into it too much, but I'll just touch on it very lightly right now. You know, you had Peter Hans Kolmbach resign himself, and he handed it over unto Adolfo Nicholas Pachin, of course. And then he resigned, and you have Pope Francis positioned from the Jesuit order to become the white pope, the Pope of Rome. And in regard to the Antichrist, let me just finish with this. You know, people say things like this. I've had comments, and, you know, very good questions, in fact, very good comments. If the 10 kings with the beast, if they had destroyed the great whore, how could the black pope or the white pope be the Antichrist? Well, look, I mean, you have this Babylonian system that's in control. You have this Luciferian satanic system in control. And I do believe the 10 kings are 10 bloodlines. I believe they are 10 kings. I don't believe in the Big Ten. You know, people call it the Big Ten, like, you know, years ago the world was split up into 10 geographical regions. Well, I don't believe that. I don't buy that. I don't believe it. Don't accept it. I don't believe in the Big Ten in that sense, in regard to prophecy, in regard to the 10 kings. I believe they're high bloodlines that give their power unto the beast. Now, if you have a Babylonian, you know, bloodline that's in control of the whole earth, then it doesn't matter if it's a black pope, white pope. It really doesn't matter, really, because you could remove a black pope, you could remove a white pope, and this bloodline would still be in control and still give their power to the beast. But for generations we've believed that the Pope of Rome was the Antichrist. Now, I will say this, every Pope has been the Antichrist. Every Pope has been the Antichrist. Why? Because he sat in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. And many Protestants say, well, that's it, only the Pope could be the Antichrist. But remember, the man of sin goes into the temple of God. I don't believe that refers just to the papacy in regard to, Protestant history and, how the Pope claimed himself to be God. There will be a third Hebrew temple rebuilt at Jerusalem. And the man of sin has to go into that temple, and he has to place his abomination of desolation in that. And that's why the Lord says in Matthew 24, whoever reads, let him understand. So there will be a temple. You know why? Because Jesus said, standing in the holy place. The Vatican is not the holy place. It's Caesar's palace. It's a palace of abominations. It's the Basilica of Abominations. It's not the holy place. In Matthew 24, the Lord said that when you see the abomination of desolation standing in the holy place. So, what is the holy place? It's at Jerusalem. It's at the Temple Mount. There will be a third Hebrew temple. I absolutely believe that with all my heart. I believe that with all my heart. Now at this moment I do believe that Pope Francis is the general of the Jesuits. He's the general of the order. But we also know that the great whore is going to be destroyed, burned with fire, and they will eat her flesh. So they will completely destroy the whole papal system. They will destroy it. But also I have another point to make here. Remember Pope John Paul II would stand there. I believe it was in Assisi, but in other places also. He would always be preeminent, of course, in white, in white. And in Revelation 16, let me correct myself, sorry, I'm going too fast. Okay, let me slow down. I'll slow down here, my friends, I'll slow down. In Revelation chapter 6, the seals are opened in heaven. The seals are opened. And behold, a white horse came forth. A white horse. A white horse. Now, of course, the Pope of Rome is always dressed in white. Always dressed in white. And he always has control. And he goes forth conquering and to conquer. But initially he brings peace. So that could refer to the one world religion that the Pope has control of. So the Pope of Rome could be the Antichrist in that sense. Now, in regard to the Antichrist riding on a white horse in Revelation chapter 6, it's referring to a counterfeit Christ. And why do we say that? Because in Revelation chapter 19, the Antichrist is destroyed by the Lord when he comes on his white horse. The beast is destroyed when Jesus Christ comes on his white horse. So we have Jesus Christ on a white horse. Okay, we have the Antichrist in Revelation chapter 6 coming on a white horse in white. So it's very interesting, isn't it, that two are described as coming on a white horse, two are described as coming in white. But the kingdom of Antichrist is a counterfeit kingdom. He's counterfeiting Christ. He's counterfeiting Christ. He's bringing a kingdom upon this earth, but initially, the Bible says when all men say peace, peace, then sudden destruction will come upon you. So initially it'll be peace, it'll be to bring everyone together, and that's what the papacy was doing for generations. Bringing the Protestants together, bringing the Muslims, bringing the Sikhs and the Hindus, bringing everyone together. Of course, around and under the control of the Pope of Rome. But people then say, well, how could the Pope be the Antichrist? Because the great whore is destroyed. Okay, I'll get into it. Just I was going to end the video, but I'll get into this. But look, I don't know the future. I haven't got a crystal ball. I don't know. But what I'm doing is just giving you different ways of looking at this, according to the way that I think, right? And the way that I see things. I'll tell you what, I've been working on these 2 videos for like nearly 24 hours now. And I'm talking about 24 hours just on these 2 videos. Research, teaching, revelation, pictures, you know, all of this just combined, it's been like 24 hours. Seriously, I haven't slept for 24 hours to create these 2 videos, man. I've just been working at it full on. Can you guys remember when I used to go into Revelation 17? And what I was explaining was 3 things. The first thing is this, that the great whore controlled the kings of the earth, according to Revelation 17 verse 1 to 3. And then I'll go down further and reveal how there was a scarlet colour beast. And so what I was revealing many years ago was this, that the great whore controlled the kings of the earth previously, as in had control over the kings of the earth, but there was a scarlet colour beast. Now that reveals to me 2 things. It reveals that in history the great whore of Revelation controlled the kings and monarchs of the earth, and through that control of the monarchs they controlled the populations of the earth and the nations and multitudes and tongues. But the scarlet colour beast, he comes from her. Otherwise he wouldn't be called scarlet, would he? Stands to reason, it makes sense, it's as plain as day. You have the scarlet colour beast dressed in purple and scarlet. The great whore is dressed in purple and scarlet. The great whore is dressed in purple and scarlet. But the beast that comes from her is a scarlet colour beast. So he clearly comes from the papal structure. Now many years ago, you know, I'm talking about 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I believed that the Pope of Rome would be the Antichrist. But then when I read the work of Eric John Phelps and, you know, many others like Craig Oxley and Thomas Richards and so many out there, even Walter McVeigh, he brings some great revelation on the Jesuits and Mystery Babylon. I read all of these people's work, you know, and came to the conclusion that the Black Pope controlled the White Pope. The General of the Order, the Superior Father, the Father controlled the Order. So the White Pope is really controlled by the General of the Jesuits of Rome. But as I've said, when Pope Francis became the General of the Order and the Black Pope and combined as the White Pope, so you have duality as in good and evil, black and white, then I was a little bit confused as to what's really going on. Trying to understand what's really happened here. Because as I've said, you have a Black Pope resigned, Peter Hans Combach, Adolfo Nicolas Pachin from Spain, the Spaniard, resigned, and then you have Pope Francis positioned to be the Pope of Rome. And that's the first time that a Jesuit, a high powerful provincial Jesuit, has been positioned as a high Jesuit to be the Pope of Rome, the White Pope. So then I was a little bit confused. Well, I thought the Pope of Rome would be the Antichrist. Well, now we have a high Jesuit. But then I began to realise that he's not just a high provincial. He's the General of the Order of the Sons of Loyola, the Society of Jesus, which, as we know, is a Sun God Society worship. So anyway, I began to contemplate this myself. How could a General of the Jesuits be the Antichrist? How could a White Pope be the Antichrist? But we're not looking at two separate individuals anymore. We're not looking at Adolfo Nicolas Pachin from Spain. We're not looking at Peter Hans Combach. We're not even looking generations before to Pedro Rupi, who passed the title and the reins on to Peter Hans Combach. You know, we're not looking at Pedro Rupi. We're not looking at Hans Combach. We're not looking at Adolfo Nicolas anymore. We're looking at Pope Francis himself, who was the head of the General of the Jesuits. Not officially, of course. It's not official, but that's what's happened. So then I was like, I spent many years just looking at the black popes and looking at the generals, and then suddenly I had to just focus my eyes on Pope Francis and say, well, okay, he's the white pope, but he's also the black pope. And of course you have Vladimir Putin come there, you have, Donald Trump come there, who was trained by the Jesuits. You have Joe Biden, who was trained by the Jesuits of Santa Clara. They all come to the papacy to see Pope Francis and bow in subordination openly to the black pope. Open subordination. So he has control over the nations of the earth. He has control over all the governments of the earth. But then we have to also remember that we have, papal bloodlines, papal Roman bloodlines that really created the Jesuit order. So who's really controlling the black pope? So who will the man of sin come from? Will he come from the papal nobility, papal bloodlines, or will he come from just, the papacy itself? Will he arise as a scarlet coloured beast from the great whore? Or does it mean this? Does it mean that the Antichrist, if the scarlet coloured beast, comes from the papal structure? And I mean it in this sense. Does he rise to power through her system? Okay? Does he control the earth through her system? So it's like the beast, the scarlet coloured beast, he really comes to power through the great whore, then destroys the great whore. So that was also a very deep question that my friend asked me on YouTube. He said, if the black pope and the white pope, no, actually, just let me bring you the correct quotation of what he said. He said this: if the great whore is destroyed, dressed in purple and scarlet, how could the black pope or the white pope be the Antichrist? Now, of course, that got me really thinking. Now, if anyone on YouTube comes across this video and they're a novice, they'll be just thinking, what is that guy talking about? What's he talking about? This message is not for the masses. It's for those that have followed my work, and for those that have done a lot of research on this, and they know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? Now, it's also for people that want to know about the New World Order, of course, but it's really for people that follow the work that I've done over the years. My friends on YouTube, that have been following me and know exactly what I've been teaching and preaching along the years. All I can say to you is this: with each major development in the papacy, it's opened my eyes. I don't know how or why, but I've been able to see what the sons of Viola have been doing. I don't understand why I can see that. I just can. I can see. Let me explain. When Peter Hans Combat resigned and Adolfo Nicholas resigned, and then after that, Pope Francis became, of course, the Pope of Rome. I saw him in the Church of the Jesuit. I watched the video once where he was speaking in the Church of the Jesuit, and after the service he walked past everyone and he leant forward and he kissed the sort of plaque of Pedro Rupi, and he reached out and he kissed his hand and placed it on Pedro Rupi. And I thought, this man's the general. That's what convinced me. Also, I saw a picture on the internet, on Google actually, where, Google Images, I saw a picture where you had Pope Francis, dressed as the Pope of Rome, of course, but you had Adolfo Nicholas to the left, I believe, yes, and another provincial to the right, and they were dressed as ordinary provincials. And normally, Adolfo Nicholas, at that time he was still the general of the Jesuits, but before Pope Francis he was dressed as a provincial. But it was that actual video where he was talking in the service, and Pope Francis is just, I like the way he comes across. I like the way that he ministers. But at the end of the service, he went forward, and as he was walking out the door to the right, before he went out the door, he saw a plaque of Pedro Rupi, and he kissed it. Well, he kissed his hand, and just imagine he kissed his hand like that, and he placed it on this plaque of Pedro Rupi. He was touching the general, Now you could say, well, he's a high Jesuit, so of course he would know. It was just, remember, he'd been speaking in the Church of the Jesuit. But anyway, just moving on to something else. But it was at that point I realised this man is the general of the Jesuits. He's the general of the order. So it's I mean, I'm just speaking my mind here. But with every important event, dramatic event that happened in the Society of Jesus, each event opened my eyes until I came to the final conclusion that Pope Francis is the general of the order. He is. But if the Vatican is destroyed and the Great Horror is destroyed, which it will be, as in that system of control, it will be, because the Book of Revelation reveals that to us. But in regard to the Holy Roman Empire, that's what I want to talk about now before the end of the video. The Holy Roman Empire is rising. It's rising. But you see, the Roman Empire, they have used the papacy in order to control the kings of the earth. They've used the papacy to bring their one world religion. They've used the papacy to bring their world domination. And they've also used the Jesuits of Rome. They've used the Sons of Loyola to bring this control over the kings of the earth, over the governments of the earth. So, if the papacy is destroyed, what would be in its place? And who will be the Antichrist? Well, the Antichrist will be a scarlet coloured beast, remember that. Remember, friends, the scarlet coloured beast will come from the great whore who is dressed in purple and scarlet. So he will come from her system. It is possible that a black pope could be the Antichrist. It is possible. Also, that a white pope could be the Antichrist. Why do I say that? Because today we have a black pope who is the white pope. So it's possible. There's two ways of looking at it, and I'll give you two options. And I'm not concrete on one or the other, okay? I'm just going to give you two options, right? And I'm on the fence here because, as I've said, I don't have a crystal ball. Only God himself knows what's going to take place here. But there are two ways of looking at this, okay? I don't just do research. I mean, I really sit back and analyse and really think to myself what's taking place and trying to understand and comprehend. So there's two ways of looking at this. The first thing is this, and after this I'll end the video. The first thing is this. It could be that the general of the Jesuits today, who is a black pope and a white pope, will control this one world religion, and he will control his new world order. Because believe you me, my friends, the black pope today, right now, controls the new world order. He controls America, his Roman Jesuit empire. He controls every president. Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Those two candidates came from Jesuit universities. And you know that. I don't have to go through a long list. Just look at Bill Clinton, Jesuit Georgetown trained. Right? Look at Great Britain, Order of the Garter. British government, trained. Babylonian, under the control of the papacy. Under the control of the Jesuits. Same with France. Exactly the same with France. But Europe is controlled by the Order of the Golden Fleece. But they're all under the control of the papacy. That's why Juncan Carlos went to the papacy to see the Black Pope, Peter Hans Combat. But also, he went before Pope Benedict. And all the rulers of the earth, Vladimir Putin, all of them go to the papacy. So let's understand that very clear. The general of the Jesuits today, Pope Francis, he controls the nations of the earth. Now, could it be that one day a black pope would openly come forth as the Antichrist? Well, let's look at it this way. The black pope today openly, Pope Francis went to Congress, stood there in front of Congress, and flashed his beast signal, right? You have the thumb and the finger together. Sorry, I slow down. The thumb and finger together, and three hands upraised. Three hands upright. And it looks as if the thumb and the finger are an eye. So you have the all-seeing eye of Horus, but also it's a beast signal because the thumb and the finger connected with the three fingers held up resemble 360s, 666. So it's the Eye of Horus, but it's also 666. And there's Pope Francis, flashing that signal, that hand signal of the Eye of Horus and 666, 360s. So yes, a black pope could be the man of sin, but also a Pope of Rome could be the general of the Jesuits and a man of sin. Why? Because the white pope and the black pope today are one and the same, and all rulers of the earth come to him. But then you say, well, what about the papacy? It has to be destroyed. It has to be removed. Okay, that could happen. And still, a general of the Jesuits and a pope could still control. Why? And he could still be the Antichrist. Why? Because, and this is my last point, if you look back to John Paul II, all religions across the earth were brought together under his ministry. And of course they were praying to God. They were not praying to the true and living God of the Bible, or Jesus Christ our Lord and Saviour, but they were of course praying to the God of this world, who was Lucifer, Satan. So, but you have all these world religions gathered together. Okay, you have the Pope of Rome, John Paul II, standing in the middle, having control, having preeminence, bringing them all united together. And we saw that many decades ago. We also see Pope Francis controlling Congress, controlling Joe Biden, controlling Vladimir Putin, controlling all of these world leaders. So the papacy will bring forth the Scarlet Colour Beast. So even if the papacy is destroyed, the Pope of Rome and the general of the Jesuits can still control this one world religion. They can still control the governments of the earth. Why? Because they already have control. They already have control. Or there's another way of looking at it. I'm sorry, this video has gone on for an hour and 32 minutes. I'm sorry, my friends, sorry. Okay, I'll make this my last point. I once heard one guy on YouTube say, I could listen to this guy forever, but I don't want to create a video that's way too long, So this is my final point here. It could also be true that these Roman bloodlines, these papal bloodlines, in regard to the ancient Roman bloodlines, I'm not talking about the Farneses or whatever, I'm talking about the ancient Roman bloodlines, but also the Farnese and also the Borgias and also many others. You have the Breakspear, Orsini, you have many other bloodlines here. Many others like the Medici, and there's so many others that I haven't really begun to go into, but there are many papal bloodlines that controlled the papacy and created the Jesuit order. I proved that by what I was saying in the start of the video. So you have papal bloodlines, but they're really Roman bloodlines. They go back to the foundation of the Roman Empire itself, and they created the papacy and they created the Jesuit order. So it could be that they would completely remove the Jesuit order, remove the papacy altogether, and the Antichrist would come from one of these high Roman bloodlines, and just not need the Pope altogether, never need the Black Pope. But this is what I believe, and this is my last point. Okay, my last point. I believe that the general of the Jesuits and the Pope of Rome will be one and the same, because they are right now. Pope Francis today, right now, he is the general of the order of the Society of Jesus. He is the superior father. He is the father general of the order. And he is the white pope. He is the bishop. He is the pope of the Church of Rome. And his throne today, and believe you me, is the throne of all kingdoms. That's what it's called, the throne of all kingdoms. And see, that's what it is, really. If you go back to Egypt, the Pharaoh was God on the earth, and the people were slaves unto him. And really the papacy itself, if you look at the chair of St. Peter, for instance, or the basilica itself. It's the throne of all kingdoms. That's why you see every king, every monarch, every head of state, every ambassador, they all go unto him. It doesn't matter if they're a papal knight of Malta, it doesn't matter if they're Templar, it doesn't matter if they're high-level Freemasons, it doesn't matter who they are. They all go unto the Pope and they all slaver on his slipper and they bend down and they kiss his ring and they slaver on his slipper. Because they're under the control of the Jesuits. That's right. People say, well, the Jesuits were created by, the Borgias. They were created by all of these bloodlines. Ignatius of Loyola was from Spain, and he was a knight of the Virgin Mary. So he was under the control of the Farnese, the Borgias. But I think I'll end the video right now. So who's really in control? The papacy. Who controls the papacy? The Jesuits of Rome. Who controls the Jesuits of Rome? The ancient Roman papal bloodlines, of course. Well, to be exact, the Roman bloodlines that created the papacy. They became what's known as papal bloodlines. And all of these states across the earth, I mean, look at the Empire State Building. What does that mean? The Empire State Building. It's just a papal state of the Holy Roman Empire. I'll say that again. Look at the Empire State Building. What is that? It's just a papal state of the Holy Roman Empire. So it's really a Holy Roman Empire across the earth. Who will be the Antichrist? The Black Pope, the White Pope? Will he come from a papal bloodline, a Roman bloodline? That's up for you to decide. But I'm just throwing up all kinds of questions and speaking my mind, and my mind goes in all different kinds of directions here, trying to judge and analyse and discern, right? There's only two options here. One thing's clear, the papacy is going to be destroyed, as in that system, right? But it is possible that a general of the Jesuits, a black pope, who will also be a white pope, could control the one world government and new world order. Why? Because he already does now. He already does now. So he doesn't need Catholicism. He doesn't need that Mary worship. He doesn't need that teaching itself. He doesn't need it, because all these religions go back to Nimrod. They all go back to Semiramis. They all go back to Isis. All these religions are connected because they're all of the devil. So they're all united. And the Pope for generations has controlled the one religion. He's controlled all governments. So even if you remove Catholicism, the Pope of the Rome can still be the general of the Jesuits, the Black Pope and the White Pope combined, and control over his one world government and one world religion. Or it could be that the papal bloodlines, the Roman bloodlines, the Holy Roman Empire will remove the Vatican, and there will never be a Black Pope and White Pope again. But the Scarlet Beast has come to power through her. End of the video. I'm talking fast, my friends, because I'm just sharing everything that's in my mind. I'm just pouring it out to you right now. Okay? There's only two ways of looking at it. Today we have a white pope, Pope Francis, who's also a black pope. You could remove Catholicism and he would still control the world and all nations and all governments and all religions, because it already does anyway. And he will also sit in the Third Hebrew Temple and show himself as God. Or you will have no more Jesuit order, you will have no more white pope, no more black pope, and you will just have an Antichrist who will come from the 10 kings, from that papal bloodline, from that Roman nobility bloodline, and he will then rise up as the Scarlet Coloured Beast, having destroyed Catholicism altogether. Or after the destruction of the Great Whore, the Black Pope could also reign over his world government, which he does today. It's a deep conspiracy, and obviously we have to look at this very deeply. God bless you, my friends. I don't know what your thoughts are going to be on this. I've shared so much. I've shared so much here. I'm at a crossroads right now. I'm at a crossroads. I'm looking at it two ways. The papacy is definitely going to be destroyed, as in that papal structure is going to be destroyed, removed. We know the Black Pope is in control of the papacy. So after the destruction of the Great Whore, will the Black Pope then come out openly and control the one world religions? Well, we know he does anyway, doesn't he? Of course he does. The General of the Jesuits controls the politicians of this earth. He controls high level Freemasonry. He controls the cults. He controls all the religions across the face of the earth. They're all subject to him. They all come to and they bow before him. They come to the General of the Jesuits at the papacy because they're under his control. So you could remove Catholicism and he would still come forth as the Antichrist. He would still come forth as the scarlet coloured beast and have control, but he would create a Luciferian world religion, a Luciferian New World Order, and they would still worship him. The General of the Jesuits, the Black Pope, does not need Catholicism. He's come to power through it. Very, very last point, and I have to stick with this now, and this is my last point, because sometimes I say it and I don't do it, but this is the last point. The other alternative is this, that the Jesuits and the Black Pope and the White Pope are completely removed. Completely. And there comes forth the scarlet coloured beast from the bloodlines, the papal bloodlines, and the Roman nobility bloodlines, that rises up as a little horn. It's up to you. I've given you all my research. It's up to you to wait up and look at it. Okay? God bless you, my friends. God bless you. God bless. Thank you for watching the video. It's been nearly 2 hours, so I'm going to release the mic. You probably need to listen to it again because I went into a lot of subjects here. God bless you, my friends. Enjoy the videos. Enjoy the videos. And please do leave comments. Do leave comments, and I'll read the comments and I'll do some thinking on it and create another video accordingly. God bless you.